is the perfect example of someone the internet refuses to hold accountable. Every time she slips up, people rush to say, she didn't mean it. Y'all are overreacting. But at some point, y'all gotta stop mistaking charm and popularity for character. We all watched the clip. I clearly heard what was said. Now, she didn't say the slur herself, but her reaction, it spoke volumes. Laughter wasn't just awkward, it was acceptance. And that's where accountability comes in. You know what's crazy? I've always been really neutral when it came to Huda. Never hated her, never defended her, just kind of stayed out of it. After seeing that, I was like, yeah, baby, go ahead and log off for me. Maybe she laughed because she was uncomfortable. Okay, but hear me out. She's not just some random person on the internet. You're somebody with brand deals, somebody who has influence, an audience that's watching your every move. Awkward or not, there is a standard that you're expected to uphold. Like, it don't even matter that it was about Olandria. You personally acknowledged you heard the slur and you thought it was funny. And this is not about canceling her. This is about holding people to the same standard that they profit from. You can't cash in on culture that you won't defend when it's disrespected. And I'm not saying she's racist, but I am saying she showed you what she's comfortable laughing at.
If you're a fan of Huda, move forward. Huda from Love Island. Move forward and tell me, help me think. Whatever is happening right now, is it jealousy or is it like a valid reason that people wanna cancel her? Or is it business strategy, relevancy, fame? I don't know. Help me understand. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If it's your first time here, my name is Immaculate. Please, if you haven't subscribed, do well and subscribe, okay? Let's grow this family. I want to hear from you. What's going on with Huda, Olandria, and Huda Beauty, and the slurs, and, you know, racism? Tell me. I want to hear from you, really.
You know, one thing that I've learned from this whole Huda situation is that I am never going to laugh at anything that you tell me before I actually hear what it is. You will repeat that joke 15 times if you have to, so that I can fully understand what it is that you're telling me, and then I will laugh because when it comes to canceling people, yo. No, because now that I think about it, I do what Huda did every day of my life, almost every day of my life. You could tell me the most outrageous joke and I would just chuckle because I'm afraid of saying huh more than once. This time I'll go huh until I understand, because there's no way I'm hopping on Huda's wave. No.
Can't believe y'all did Huda like that. If you are a Huda hater, you ain't gonna like me because I'm a Huda stan, 10 toes down, I don't give a fuck. If she sat up there and said that out of her mouth herself, I could understand the uproar that was going on right now. I'd be like, yeah, damn, like, take those brand deals away. Like, girl, what the fuck? That was crazy. However, she literally said not a word, not a thing. If anything, she just giggled a little bit. And you could literally tell from the video that it was like a shot, like a giggle out of shock. Because it's like, huh? Like, what did I just hear? Also, the fact that it came from like a child. Because when you hear a child's voice, you don't expect to hear something like that. You expect them to be like, oh, I love Mickey Mouse or some shit. You don't expect them to come out with a full-on cuss word. So of course it catches you off guard. Like, we all know that it wasn't funny, but in the context that it came out, the way it was unexpected, it was a child's voice. Like, you just wouldn't expect a child to say that. So it makes sense that she laughed. In my opinion, I'm like, if I was in that situation and I was on the phone and I didn't expect the person to say that and they said that, and it wasn't a kid's voice, I would probably chuckle too. Sorry. Fuck. I guess, like, no, I'm not. I guess I'm not. That does not make me racist. That does not make nobody racist. Y'all taking away her brand deals? I don't know. It's just jealousy. Like, it's pure jealousy. Because if y'all held the president to the same standards, babe, if y'all held the president to the same standard you hold Huda to, we would not be in this situation. I'm gonna need y'all to reevaluate who is the threat here. Because Huda's literally just living her life. Y'all got mad because she got famous and y'all didn't like that. And she honestly needs to stop going on live because people are looking for every little thing to bash her. And it don't make no sense to me. It don't make no sense to me. I mean, personally, I used to be an Olandria stan. I used to love Olandria because she's a Houston hottie. I love her. However, I don't like the way she moves. She moves weird. The way that she came out immediately and was like, yeah, like, girl, you know damn well she didn't sit there and say that about you. She didn't sit there and call you the M-word. You know it was the person on the phone who did that. She came out with a response explaining it was out of shock, which makes a lot of sense. You gonna sit here and tell me you've never laughed out of shock before? No one said something that was like kind of out of fucking pocket, out of nowhere, and you haven't awkwardly chuckled and giggled? You've never done that? Yeah, your nose is growing, you lying ass bitch. Just know, if it was your best friend next door, you wouldn't have said a thing. You just said it because it was Huda. Next.
Huda Beauty dropped Love Island's Huda Mustafa, and this was a very calculated move. Now before we get into it, this video isn't about the live stream drama. I want to talk about it from the business side. So when Huda Katan teamed up with Huda Mustafa, she was making a calculated move. They shared the same name, which made for great marketing, and Mustafa is Palestinian, which aligns with Huda Katan's very vocal support of Palestine. It was strategic and honestly smart. But here's the thing that people forget. When you collaborate with someone, you're taking on risk. You can't approve their live streams, their friends, or their behaviors when the camera's not rolling. So as a brand, you have to protect yourself. Every collab agreement should contain a controversy exit clause. And that's exactly what happened here. So how much money did Huda Beauty lose from this incident? Probably not what you think. The packaging was the most critical element of this collab. Strategically, it wasn't co-branded with Huda Mustafa. Because if it was, this incident would have easily costed millions. From what I've seen, it was some in-store animations and gondola updates, probably in key stores and not a global rollout. So Huda Beauty's losses here was likely in the low six figures from a merchandising point of view. On the flip side, reports say that Huda Mustafa lost over $1 million in brand deals from this incident. So here's a takeaway. If you're a brand, design your collabs so that you can walk away if you have to. And if you're a creator, everything you do is under a microscope. And yeah, attention is currency, but accountability, that's the interest rate.
It's not an insane concept to me that the internet gets super divided when a public figure does something very controversial and objectively wrong. But what is a crazy concept to me is how extreme this division is in opinions on right from wrong. Because of the extremities and these differing opinions, these people on both sides start fighting with each other and losing the plot on what actually happened here. And in today's case, I am talking about Huda's live stream with Louis. Before I go further in explaining why I think an unproductive conversation is beginning, let me explain my stance on everything that happened just so we're very clear. What Huda did is very wrong. She was laughing because it was awkward and she didn't actually hear the word. She just knew it was a bad word. If she knew it was a bad word, she heard the word. Listen, I'm somebody with a platform not nearly as big as Huda's, but if I were doing a live stream where I was accepting fan calls, say I was on a reality show and I had some weird beef with a co-star who was a person of color, if I pick up that fan call, especially from somebody as young as that caller sounded, and they called my co-star a racial slur, my first instinct is not to laugh. My first instinct is to ask myself, what example am I setting for somebody very young to think it is okay to call me, a person that they are a fan of, and call my co-star a racial slur? What example did I set to allow this sequence of events to happen? I would hang up the phone and probably end the live stream because I would find that very disturbing and I would take the time to self-reflect as to why that happened. Huda's Instagram stories. If an over-explanation is your first reaction, that screams guilty to me. I do believe that Huda should be held accountable and that she should really take some time to self-reflect because there's a much deeper issue happening, right? I don't have any ill will towards Huda. I just genuinely hope she has somebody in her life to seriously sit down and talk to her about this and get her to kind of dig deeper as to why that was her reaction, why this happened in the first place. Okay? My philosophy on just everyone in life, I believe everyone can always be better. Everyone can always learn from their mistakes, but they have to want to learn. So I'm not going to wish you any harm or anything that will take away from your ability to learn from your mistake, I think. That is all my stance. That's all my opinion. Let's talk about the larger conversation at hand. There are two very extreme stances I am seeing on this, and I'm not really seeing any takes similar to mine. I am seeing pitchforks, torches, war. And then I am also seeing on the other side, Huda did nothing wrong and everybody trying to cancel her is crazy and is insane. And that thought process is a problem within itself. I understand the whole pitchforks war mentality of this all, especially to people who are directly affected by that word. It's not for me to tell you when to pull out your pitchfork, right? I am just seeing so many burner accounts. So I don't even know who these people are, just kind of rage baiting each other completely losing the plot and purpose of this conversation. People don't like being told they're wrong. So if you're going to tell somebody your opinion on seeing nothing wrong with this is wrong, you need to approach them in a calm, educational way. Because if it is just attacks and attacks and attacks, then they're not going to listen, and then they're going to spew out their rhetoric even more, which is harmful. And so it's going to be this never-ending cycle of comment wars, like feeding off of each other. And at that point, we've lost the plot completely. It doesn't matter what side you're on. You're just fighting with somebody at the end of the day. But to the people who genuinely see nothing wrong with the situation at hand, I hope you can listen to what I'm saying without feeling like I'm attacking you, because there is a conversation that needs to be had. The reason why this was so wrong and awful and offensive and hurtful to Olandria, who was very clearly attacked. Going wrong, number one, was bursting out laughing. That shouldn't be your instinctual response to that situation. A lot of people are saying she's under the influence. If you can't handle the way you act under the influence, don't go on live. But after the dust settled and she posted that Instagram story, instead of apologizing, she over-explained herself. It was a really awful way to address a topic as sensitive as this. Why do your young fans think it's okay to call you and call your co-star a racial slur in order to get a reaction out of you? I know people have very strong opinions about this. Some are right, some are wrong, but we can all learn from one another and have productive conversations to hopefully see why this is wrong. I just truly, genuinely urge the Huda defenders to challenge themselves, to sit and process an opinion that differs from their own and ask themselves, why does this opinion differ from mine? Play devil's advocate. Say, okay, what is this person trying to get across to me? Like, put yourself in their shoes and the way they're explaining things as to why this is wrong, and maybe it'll click. I think we just need to all just sit and listen.
This is my official petition to ban the one drop rule. I do not believe in that stuff. You're either white, black, or mixed race. I've been thinking about what could make someone like Huda so comfortable to cosplay as a black woman, disrespect black women, be a general beneficiary of misogyny, and the only reason that comes to mind is black men. And I'm using black the way African Americans would, because obviously to them, if you have a drop of blackness in you, you are fully black. I think that's part of the problem, right? Because we don't really have this issue in the UK. Like, if you're black, you're black. If you're white, you're white. If you're mixed race, you're mixed race. But someone like Louis, who has steeped himself in American culture, is going around calling himself a fully black man and giving Huda license to speak on black women. But you ain't even fully black. Now, that's not to say she hasn't been given license by someone who's fully black in the past. I don't know, I actually don't care, and that's not the point of this video, but I do find it interesting that the boundaries of race are actually really fluid in the States, and it's leading to scenarios like this where non-black women can just take the piss. Now, the UK, we have our own problems, of course, but the one drop rule in particular just irks me because it's so confusing for everyone involved. It's super disingenuous to imply that mixed people have the same lived experience as fully black people, and it just muddies the waters in a way it doesn't need to muddy it. Like, if you're mixed race, you're mixed race, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Did you think Huda was abandoned by the brand? Think again. This was all part of a carefully orchestrated traffic stunt. When Huda Beauty announced the termination of their partnership with Huda Mustafa, the internet exploded. Everyone was shouting, "This is an attack on race." But was this storm really an accident? Huda, once the queen of Love Island, had seen her popularity dip and her fan base shrinking. The brand, too, was struggling, new product sales were sluggish, and the buzz had faded. And then a prank call ignited a racial controversy. Almost immediately, the brand issued a statement, deleted all content related to her, and severed ties as if it had been rehearsed beforehand. Media went wild. The public split into factions. Fans were fighting, and emotions were running high. And just like that, Huda's popularity soared back to the top, while the brand got more exposure than any ad could ever deliver. This wasn't just a breakup. It was a perfect traffic illusion.
You try to gaslight us into thinking racism is just like clickbait. Like, oh, like, not y'all trying to cancel me over this little clickbait. What? Bitch, ain't nobody trying to cancel you over no motherfucking clickbait. Bitch, can't find a man right on Love Island. Can't do a motherfucking challenge right without getting in your motherfucking feelings. Huda, just go the fuck home. Like, seriously, sometimes it's okay to go the fuck home. I ain't seen this lady home since. Has anybody seen Huda home since Love Island has ended? I have not seen her home.
Am I missing something? Like, what do you guys not like about Huda? Because her laughing because a child called her phone saying the N-word is a response I've seen many people have during uncomfortable, shocking situations. That's what merits canceling. And Huda Beauty canceling her sponsorship because of it is so, like, fake woke of everybody. I think you guys don't like her because she's pretty. Maybe she has done something else that I'm secretly unaware of. But, like, I would like to cancel Huda Beauty for canceling Huda because she did nothing wrong. She laughed and you guys berated her and made her go... That's funny to me. You guys forced her to go donate money to organizations because she laughed. You guys would hate me. I would make you guys pay me money. Are you crazy?
Huda just made it very clear you can cancel all of her brand deals, but you will not be able to silence her, because not only are we getting a sneak peek of her new music that is coming out, but fans are speculating that a big star is going to be featured on one of these tracks. You guys need to see what she just posted because this is insane. As you probably know, Huda has been super involved in the hip-hop space, and remember that her boyfriend Louis Russell also makes music. And although Huda has been super quiet after the controversy, we are getting a ton of behind the scenes content of Huda in the studio. And Test for 10 posted this onto his story, which shows a full track list of songs that Huda is making right now. And we actually got a sneak peek on one of these songs. And if you guys didn't know, Huda really does have a great voice. Listen to this.
So really, I would rather be at home by myself, not in this room with people who don't even care about my well-being. I don't dance, so don't ask. I don't need a boyfriend.
And now fans are speculating if Huda is going to be working with any other artist on songs. Because if you guys remember, during New York Fashion Week, she was seen hanging out with Ice Spice. She walked for Rick Ross's handbag brand, and she was seen hanging out with Queen Naija. And more recently, she has been with Kylie Jenner. But we do have to remember that her boyfriend Louis Russell makes music, so it's more than likely at least going to be him. But let me know your guys' best guess in the comments.
Wow, like someone in the comments said, that was quick. I think had she, after she got out of the villa, immediately denounced racism when she heard about all the racist comments that were going towards not only herself but towards Olandria and Shelly, I don't think this would have happened. I think she would have had this collaboration still going on. But because she never did, and because when another racist comment happened, and this time in 4K, and not only had she immediately react properly by saying, whoa, 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 excuse me? No, we're not gonna have this. And not waited like, I don't know how long she waited until she made an apology and put up links for people to donate towards people of color institutions. Huda reacted with the quickness. They're like, kindness and humanity are at the heart of everything we do. Unfortunately, one of our recent collaborators has displayed behavior that does not align with our values. So they had to cut her off.
Are we seriously blaming Huda for someone else's action? She was literally just on live with her boyfriend, I think his name's Lewis, and someone random called them and then said Olandria is, and then said like a slur. I'm pretty sure it was the N-word, but then out of shock, obviously they both laughed. But then immediately they said to the kid like, no, you can't really say that, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And Huda was like on anesthesia because she got like wisdom teeth removed. You can see in the video that she's like an ice pack on the side of her head, meaning she clearly was not thinking straight. But regardless whether she was or wasn't, all she did with Lewis was laugh. And now all of a sudden, Huda Beauty is dropping their makeup line together. People are making edits about her. People were waiting for just something weird to happen, and then they all start coming at her. Like they were preying on her downfall because she literally has not done anything wrong. And the second something controversial happens, they just attack. I think this is a perfect example of when you are a strong, talented, beautiful woman, people will do anything just to break you. And on top of that, even if what she did may seem wrong to others, she still apologized, and probably she doesn't even think she did anything wrong. She did post an apology picture 2 times, and now all of a sudden brands are dropping her, people are hating, people are making bad edits of her, people are filling her comments. Just be for real.
As one of the first people who voted and who basically tagged Huda Beauty and said, you need this collab, I feel like I have a lot to say. But before I say anything else, I want to say that I do not tolerate any kind of racism. So I want to be clear. I personally believe she has nothing against Olandria. But for some reason, there's so much hate against Huda and so many people want to see her fail that this is driving me crazy. And this is very sad for me to see that this collab has ended. Huda Beauty, if you see this video, I feel like she deserves a second chance.
Huda losing a major brand deal with Huda Beauty over the racist comment that was made by this prank caller, it is really sad. It's not the greatest thing for her, and I know that she's probably really is feeling that. Now, I will say this, I do not think that Huda is racist, but the timing, how it was handled, and everything that came after that, it just wasn't a good look, especially for somebody with such a big brand. In this digital age, perception is everything, especially with somebody with 6.3 million followers, I think she has. Perception is everything. She needs to get a crisis manager, somebody that can handle when situations like this arises so that she can actually properly tackle them. One careless moment can just completely destroy everything that you've built. Everything was going well for her, the brand deals were rolling in, and I don't think it's going to end at Huda Beauty dropping Huda from all the deals that she's got. I don't think it's going to stop there, because brands are going to also jump on this and decide to no longer work with her or to drop her from current deals that she's got going, which is just going to become a snowball effect. There is something to be said about making sure that you align yourself with people that are actually good for your brand. And I don't think that this boyfriend of hers, Lewis, whatever his name is actually good for her brand. I don't even think he actually really does like her, to be honest, because you would not be caught dead on live saying that your girlfriend breath smells if you actually liked her. That is crazy. I don't know what it is with men getting online and embarrassing their wives, their girlfriends. It's crazy. And she just needs to find a way to slowly cut ties with that man. He's not good for her brand at all. Things can go left very quickly, but sometimes it's not you, it's also who you have around you that can cost you everything. And I do hope that she does recover from that. Things don't end up being so terribly bad for her in terms of like her money and all her brand deals and everything. But the situation was not the greatest. She didn't make the comment, yes, we get that. But perception is everything, and people were already waiting to jump at the opportunity to kind of tear her down. If you present them with the opportunity, people are going to run with it. But love and light to Huda. I hope that this is a major learning lesson for her. She can recover and bounce back from this. But it is a shame.
Call me crazy, but what did you want them to say? Before this blew up, what did y'all want them to say? Like, what did Shelly and Olandria need from them? Because before it blew out of proportion, she literally was like, bro, I didn't hear what they said. I only heard the last part. Like, it was just out of, like, context. But I don't support racism. Louis saying, I don't support racism. I don't condone racism. And Louis is black. That's why I'm just so befuddled how this, like, turned into something huge and drastic to where everyone's attacking them and basically, like, trying to call Huda racist and that they condone bullying and racism. Like, I'm super befuddled on how, like, now, like, everybody's stepping into the chat over somebody else using racial slur. Like, if the world is, like, this sensitive. But no, I just, like I said, I think Olandria never liked Huda. I'm sorry, I think it's all a show. And it's very evident that she does not like Huda. And I think Shelly never liked Huda. And I think that Olandria puts herself against Huda in regards to collabs and brands and feels like it's a competition. And Shelly just, you know, is upset that she was never even there. I don't know, it gives surreal. I don't know why this is drama. I haven't even been looking at these people and all of a sudden they're everywhere over something so minimal. But then again, it's my opinion. Like, I feel like if I was in that situation, I didn't really hear, I would awkwardly laugh. But because they were on live and people can stop it, rewatch it, and be like, no, like, they said something like slur, then all of a sudden you're in drama. Jesus. Yo, it must be tough.
Okay, so Huda Beauty and Gymshark dropped Huda, right? And I didn't watch Love Island or anything, but I had seen these collaborations because they're pretty big. So I was like, okay, like, let me go see, like, what was it that she did? right? And then I see like, oh, Huda, racial slur, and I'm like, oh shit, she said some racist shit, right? Because then that would make sense why she's being dropped, right? Because we should not give a platform to people who are hateful, discriminatory, racist, sexist, homophobic, everything, right? So I searched up the video. An anonymous caller calls her while she's on live, right? Says a racial slur. Huda immediately nervously laughs because that's her reflexive response, right? A lot of people's reflexive response is to let out nervous laughter, right? And then she ends the phone call pretty much immediately. And then within seconds, she's like, wait, what did they just say? Right? And so that's the situation that she was dropped for by Gymshark and Huda Beauty and being reprimanded public and everything. Mind you, the person that said the racial slur is not being reprimanded. She wasn't even the one that said it. She wasn't the one that did anything. And I think that we are making a mountain out of a molehill and really milking this like for no reason. There are like 30 other people that are so much more problematic who are men and who don't face this type of energy. And the only thing that I can think of with this whole situation is that people just wanted to see her fail. Like, people just want to see women just not succeed. God forbid a pretty woman be successful. It's just not possible. So I just think everyone needs to reflect a little bit. She herself is POC. She made a large donation right after this live as a form of atonement, even though she didn't do anything. And her child is literally mixed as well. Like, I don't understand where all this energy is coming from, because y'all don't show up with this energy with other people. So yeah, that's kind of my take on it. Like, if there was maybe something else I'm missing in the picture, like, because based off of what I've just said, I don't understand this situation, why people are making it such a big deal and why she's being dropped by brands. But maybe I'm missing a piece. If someone wants to let me know in the comments or educate me, maybe she did something else that I'm not aware of. But yeah.
Huda is toxic, Huda is problematic. All y'all trying to cancel this girl so bad without recognizing you might be reactive to certain situations too. You're just not aware of it. Now, this video isn't about canceling this girl. I'm here to help you understand and have empathy towards people that are reactive like Huda, because they are not broken. There's just certain things that they need to process. I'm going to explain this as easily digestible as possible. Your brain processes about millions of information per second. Now, your conscious brain, what you're aware of, only processes 1/26 of it. Now, which 1/26 bits of information do you think your brain chooses? The ones that feel familiar and the ones that match your unhealed story. Let's just say, hypothetically, Huda struggles with abandonment wounds or not being chosen. Now, this emotional baggage, anything that she hasn't processed, creates her reality, which is why she's reactive. Let's use this instance as an example. The chair was hitting Jeremiah's hip, which is why he pulled it for Iris, and Huda started reacting. Notice how she walked off, pissed off, started crying. To Jeremiah, he was pulling the chair because it was bothering him. To Huda, however, this is the story in her head. I'm not safe right now, I'm not chosen, and I'm gonna react by walking off to protect myself. When your 126 filter right here has unhealed trauma, emotional baggage you haven't processed in the past, it's gonna make sure that your reality matches that. You end up creating the same painful cycle with anything that you've dealt with in the past. So if you find yourself being reactive to certain situations, here's what I want you to do. We're gonna pause and we're gonna challenge that filter. Ask yourself, am I reacting to what's happening right now, or am I reacting to the story that I've created in my head? When you start challenging that filter, you start to see reality as it is, not from your emotional baggage. So if you want to let go of your toxic patterns, start here. Recognize the filter that's been controlling your reality. This is how you heal. This is how you choose peace. And again, you're not broken for being reactive. You just need to learn how to challenge those filters that no longer serve you. Go heal and go be a lover girl.